Okay, so today in class we kind of ran out of time talking about um, the other forms of minor scale. Um, minor comes in three flavors, as it were. We talked about the natural minor or pure minor scale. I have the natural minor scale in A, this is bass clef, written up on the board here. And we talked about the fact that it's relative to C major because it has the same key signature, no sharps, no flats. So the whole step, half step pattern has changed from the major scale, obviously, because we've shifted over. And we talked about today how you could do this by counting up to the sixth degree of your major scale. And if you start on that sixth note, so like in C, C, D, E, F, G, A is the sixth note. If I start on A and I go A to A with no sharps or flats, then I have the natural minor or pure minor scale. Okay, so in this example, that's my pure minor scale. And the whole step, half step pattern then is a little different than the major scale. We have whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. So in the major scale, we had whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Now we have whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. That's the natural or pure minor. But there's two other varieties of minor, and this is what we kind of were short on time today in class to talk about. Composers decided that they wanted the leading tone, that seventh degree of the scale. Notice this seventh degree of the scale is a whole step between the seventh and the eighth, or the seventh degree of the scale, and back to tonic, or the root of the scale. It's a whole step. So composers decided, that this, I'll play this scale on the piano. I played it actually up an octave from where it's written here. But that's the A natural minor scale. Composers decided that they wanted the leading tone from the major scale. They wanted that T do. So instead of, they wanted, so to do that, they raised the seventh degree of the scale. And if I raise the seventh degree of this scale, I have a G sharp here now. Now this changes my interval pattern at the end of the scale and gives me this half step. But it also gives me this weird interval right here of an augmented second. That strange interval you hear from here. Or So composers also then decided, okay, well this is called the harmonic minor scale. The harmonic minor scale. And the reason I think it's called harmonic minor is that leading tone provides for being able, this will make more sense when we talk about harmony and how harmony functions. But that note makes it possible to have a major 5 chord in your minor key. And so it has a nice harmonic effect. This is why I think it's called harmonic minor. But anyway, harmonic minor. But it sounds a little funny with that augmented second in there. Composers were like, well, the augmented second sounds a little funky. We like to smooth that out. So to smooth it out, especially on the way up the scale, when you're getting from the T do basically, or in this case C, La, if we're singing La-based minor. To kind of smooth that out, composers started raising the 6th degree also. And then if I raise the 6th degree of the scale as well, then all of a sudden we have something that we call the melodic minor. And now take a look at E to F sharp is a whole step, F sharp to G sharp is a whole step. So now we have this pattern. And notice the end of this scale, 3 whole steps and a half step, it's the same as the end of the major scale. In fact, this is basically an A major scale without the C sharp. So it's a major scale with a lowered third, basically. And this is called melodic minor. Melodic minor. Let me play that for you on the piano. Sounds like a major scale at the end, right? La, ti, do, re, mi, fi, si, la. And we use, if we're in La-based minor, we would say fi, si, because raised fa is fi, raised sol is si. Now, the weird thing about the melodic minor that is different with every other scale is, as just a musical convention, on the way back down the scale, we usually convert it back to natural minor. So when we sing or play this scale, we would go La, ti, do, re, mi, fi, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. I'll play that on the piano so you don't have to bear with my terrible voice. But here. So the scale descending reverts back to natural minor or pure minor. So we add the raised 6th and 7th on the way up, and then on the way back down, this would be G natural and F natural, back to pure minor. That's the way the melodic minor is usually handled. Now, when you go to other keys, obviously, the key signatures will change. And I said that in a previous class that your key signature will always either have just sharps or just flats. But that doesn't mean the scale will have just sharps or just flats. For instance, if I'm in the key of G minor, I have 2 flats. Same as relative majors, B flat major. Well, I have G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G for my natural minor. If I make it harmonic minor, it's going to have an F sharp in it. So the scale itself is going to have 2 flats and then a sharp. But in your key signature, you're just going to see the 2 flats. You're never going to see the melodic minor or harmonic minor alterations added to the key signature. They will be in as accidentals written next to the notes. Okay? So hopefully this gives you a little more clarity on the things that we talked about today in class, the kind of things that we ran out of time for. So, of course, do the best that you can on the homework, and we'll talk about it more in the next class. Thanks.